Hey everybody, this is Georgiana, and today, and well actually for the last couple of days, I have been cleaning up my old rubber stamps, my old wood-mounted rubber stamps, and removing them from the blocks so that I can save some space. My craft room's not as big as I would like, and I think that's probably a common complaint among crafters, and just continually trying to organize and get the most use out of the space I have is always a goal of mine. So I started taking my stamps off the blocks, and I finally finished that yesterday. And now I'm just cleaning up the back of the stamps to remove any extra adhesive or foam or whatever. Now some of my stamps go back as far as 91. I'm sure other people have some that go back a lot further. So they all have some kind of different stuff on the backing. Sometimes they came off easily. I just had to kind of pull on them, and once I got a little bit of enough of a finger hold, I could just pull it off of there. And sometimes I had to work a lot harder. I've got a couple that are not very flexible. This one's from 98, so it's not even one of my older ones, but it's pretty stiff, so I don't understand why the rubbers are different. I would have thought that would all be a fairly common compound or ingredient or, formula. But some of them definitely are stiffer than others. So basically what I've started doing, I've removed as much as I can with my fingers. There are better ways. I know there's even some tools out there that some people have used just to even help them remove the sticky backing. I managed to just use my fingers, but I've got a sore thumb that bothers me from time to time and a shoulder. So I'm, if you've got some kind of health issues, arthritis or whatever, you definitely want to do whatever you can to make it easier. And even a heat tool, I had to resort to my embossing gun yesterday just to help loosen the adhesive to get it off. So by all means, try whatever method works for you, and you may have to use different methods on different stamps. I did. But just, if you're interested in removing them, there are other videos out there. If you're interested in taking your rubber stamps off the wooden blocks just to save space, what I did after I got them off the blocks, some of them retained the adhesive backing, and so I just made these sheets and stuck them to these so that I can pull them out later. Now I may go back through and kind of outline these so I'll know if I use a bunch of them where they go, but I just used a heavy cardstock. I cut it into I cut it in half. Now, actually what I used was comic book boards, and I bought them originally to help me wrap my fabric up to take up less space in my closet for my fabric. I still have a huge stack of them left over, and other than with paper crafting, I thought, what can I do with those? Well, they make a really nice size for these, and they'll fit in my storage unit with the rest of my stamps. A friend of mine mentioned she was going to do something similar, but she was going to put them in a notebook. You can certainly do that. I just know that for myself, I won't go back and look at the notebook, just like I didn't go back and look at the bins that these were in. So I wanted to store them with the rest of my stamps, and putting them in a notebook wouldn't work for me. But it doesn't mean it won't work for you. So however you store your stamps is what I would recommend you do, just because for me at least, out of sight is out of mind. If I don't see them, I don't think to use them. And I found some really nice stamps in here. And one, in fact, that I was going to repurchase because I didn't realize I had it. I hadn't seen it in so long. So that's just how I'm choosing to store them for now. And then I put them in this sleeve just in case they decide to fall off of the little backing board that I made. It's not necessary. It just depends on how you want to store them. But I came out with, I don't know, I'll have to count them later, but quite a few of these sheets. And I just set these here because I've still got stamps to put in there. So this morning I sat here and I started taking off the excess gunk that was remaining on these stamps. And I've got some easy mount which is what these are laying on. I don't know if you can see it. This is a sheet of Easy Mount, and I just kind of laid them all out to make sure they'd fit. And fortunately, I only had one sheet of Easy Mount, and they all fit on there, so I don't have to buy any more. But Easy Mount is just going to give you, it's double stick, double-sided, so it sticks on both sides, and it's just going to give you that that foam compression piece that will then stick to your stamp blocks or your stamp positioning, whether it's a MISTI or whatever you're using. So that's what the Easy Mount does. And I will list a link below of places you can buy that. I got mine from scrapbook.com, and I'll list that link. I don't get commission or anything off of that. I am setting up an Amazon store. If you buy it from there, I will get a small commission, but I haven't even got that all set up yet. So this video will probably be out before I ever get that done. I also took and wrote on the back of the stamps the year that they were issued or made or whatever. And I'm not sure I needed to do that, but a lot of people like to know where certain stamps came from. I only know a couple. If it said Hero Arts or Stampin' Up, those I know. But most of them, this one, it was from, I don't even know where. I picked up stamps all over the country when we traveled, so I can't even tell you. But I'm not sure those dates are going to be important, but I have them there if I want them. And so then I just basically go through with my adhesive eraser. It's just a chunk of rubber, really. It's kind of textured. And I just gently, erase back and forth, and it pulls up that adhesive. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see the difference. Make sure I'm getting it in the camera. There we go. This is the side I just sanded, and I think you can kind of see the roughness on this side, which is the part that still has some adhesive. Now, it may not be necessary to take that all off of there. It's fairly flat, so it might not, affect your stamping, but I just want to be sure, and since I'm doing this, I want to do it right so that I don't have to come back and do it again, because that would definitely mean buying another sheet of the Easy Mount. And since I have just enough, I really want to do it right the first time. I just stop every once in a while and brush the loose stuff off. And this one's from 98. You can see I did not use a good pen because it comes off on my fingers. But I'm going to scratch this 98 off of there probably. I think I was using a flare pen that I use for my Cricut sometimes, and it's not a permanent marker, so it just didn't really dry out on this rubber. Or adhesive. I guess it was mostly on adhesive. And you do want to be, kind of go slow and don't rush the process, because you don't want to damage your stamp. If you've got a couple duplicate stamps, as most of us have found we do, or there's some you don't care about as much as others, maybe practice on those first. But you don't want to go in, all out and potentially damage your stamp. So I'm just putting the year back on that one. I am using a Sharpie, so hopefully I won't keep getting ink on myself. Put that back where I found it. Don't remember how I found it, though. Got all these little loose bits. I think it should have been like that. Now this one still has the rubber or the spongy or foamy part on it. And this is really how I removed them from the blocks themselves, is I just kind of get a fingernail under there, and then I just pull. Like I said, a heat tool, heating that up just gently. You don't want to overheat it, because I don't know at what temperature that might damage your rubber. But heating them up will help loosen that adhesive up a little bit, so they will come off of there easier if you're having a problem with them. And I just kind of worked on mine, and if I came to one that was difficult to work with, I set it aside and I came back to it. And then I kind of worked all my problem children together at the end. You can see that's pulling up some adhesive there. At least I think you can see that. So you can, sometimes I go back and forth, sometimes I just roll it in one direction. It just kind of depends what my shoulder will do. I kind of pinch the edges there so that it releases any debris that's there. Now before I start sticking these down on my easy mount sheet, I will make sure I've cleaned them off so there's not any loose particles that might interfere with the impressions that I get in the future. So just trying to pull those little pieces off of there. Here's another one that's got the, I don't think that one had a year on it. If it did, I didn't see it. This one's from 91, so this is one of my older ones. This was back when I was scrapbooking and I used them to make scrapbooks for my brothers and sisters, genealogy scrapbooks. So I have to remember 91, so I can write that back on here. Not that it matters because I don't remember who made it, but just in case. And I think that rubber kind of looks like it's cracking a little bit, but I'm going to try to salvage it if I can. Just try and get some of this debris out of my way. This isn't the best brush to do this with. This is my, oh, that's making a mess. This is my foiling brush when I'm foiling to get any dust off of my paper. And now I've gone and made a mess of it, so should just used a stiffer brush, one of my paint brushes. Anyway, just, you know, gently working back and forth to get that adhesive off of there. And this is one of the few that I had that just were really hard rubber. I don't know how rubber stamps are made. I don't know if the people who make them mix up their own formula. They have their own formula for mixing up their rubber, but these ones were really brittle and stiff. So that one was from 91. That goes up there. I don't have too many more here to do. I did most of them pretty well. Now this one has a little bit of adhesive on it. Oh look, that mess on my finger. Has a little bit of adhesive on it, but it doesn't feel like it's that bad to me. So I might just leave that on there and not mess with it. Now this one, this was a completely different type of foam or mounting material, and it kind of looks like marshmallows a little bit, but it didn't come off of there very well. Let me get a different brush real quick. Here's the one I want. It's a little stiffer. Can't say that it works a lot better though. I need to get one of those little mini desk vacuums. I just haven't done it yet. They're not very expensive. I just tell myself I don't need one, but probably wouldn't be a bad idea. All right, so let's see how this comes off of there. This is also from 91. Oh yeah, that comes off of there really nice. Now you can get these erasers at pretty much any craft store that has art supplies. It's not really anything special or hard to come by. Let's finish scrubbing this off. I bought it to help when I get too much glue on some of my cards, but it actually works better for this than it does for that. All right, so 91, and we'll put that one right there. Let's see, did the teacup need it? Nope, teacup looks good. The key, again, it's got a little bit of adhesive, but I don't think it's bad. I don't know. Let me think on it. I think I've done everybody else in here. Yeah. So that really just leaves a couple that have some adhesive on them, and I'm gonna wing it and try to go ahead and do it that way. So let me clean off my desk here real quick and get this mess out of our way. Clean off my sheet as well, because I can see I've got little crumbs that have ended up on it. Just trying to get as much of it off here as possible so it doesn't end up causing me problems later. So every time I think I've got most of it, I see more. My shirt. All right, so one of the other things I did yesterday when I was laying it out on my sheet was, once I got it to where everything was on there, I took a picture, because obviously I'm going to have to take it back off of there to put to remove the backing, the sticky backing. And so I took a picture so that I could, if I needed to, I could remember where everything went and make it easier on myself to get it back in place. So now I'm just kind of trying to move everything back over out of the way, so because you can see I got some little crumbles, whatever you want to call them, some debris from my cleaning my stamps on the back of, or on top of my paper here. So I want to get all of that out of the way. It goes like that, but I've run out of room. All right, so just shake this off over the trash can. All right, so this is what the front of this looks like. Static Clean Easy Mount mounting foam. And it even has instructions to tell you how to do it, to clean off the smooth side of your rubber stamp, to prepare it for mounting and let it dry. So they're actually suggesting you wash it off with liquid, I guess, which I probably should do, but I'm impatient, so I'm not going to. Peel this easy release printed liner. You notice this side's printed, but the other side is plain. So this is the side you want to start with. You want to pull this side off first. And then press your cleaned rubber onto the exposed adhesive and cut your stamps close to the image using Easy Mount scissors. Well, I don't have those. I'm just going to use a craft blade or scissors. It will get gummy on your scissors, so beware of that. After cutting, peel the liner off the static cling side of the Easy Mount foam and press your completed stamp piece onto an acrylic block, and you're ready to stamp. So we're going to remove this side, and let me see here. Just use my handle of my paintbrush. I wondered actually if I should start at the top and just do a little bit at a time. That way I'm not sticking to it constantly. So let's try that. Well, it would help if I could see it, so I'm going to hold it up a little bit. And I see some debris. And I'm trying to get the most out of my stamp here, my Easy Mount, so I'm putting that as close to the corner as I can. But you do want to leave a little bit of room to cut them out. So this one, I just want to align it with the top so that that's one less edge I have to cut. Okay. So, I mean, that's how stiff that is. You can hear that. Whereas this one doesn't sound stiff at all. So, I don't know why that is. It perplexes me, but it is what it is. So put that one there. And this is where we start getting a little futzy. Does this one go? I have to remind myself of my own advice, which is to leave some room for cutting. Now, I believe when I looked yesterday, and see, I put the dates on these, and now I'm sticking them down, and I'm not going to be able to tell you what the dates were, so there you have it. But anyway, when I looked yesterday, which would have been December 30th, 2022, these Easy Mount sheets were $5.99 or $6.99 at scrapbook.com. So, see, that's got debris on it. I said I was going to wipe them off good, and I didn't do that because I am so impatient. So, let's see if I can kind of mostly get that off of there. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this. Okay, so got some room up there. Well, before I go any further, as I drop everything, I'm going to get my cloth here and just kind of see if I can pull any extra bits of stuff off. So, too close. All right, so it's a cute little flourish. Put this up here. Oh, and again, forgot to wipe it off. Let's try this one here. This is very sticky stuff. Oops. Let's try, yeah. Like that. See, I got another piece over there. one. I don't want it right next to that one, but I do want it right along the edge, just to make less work for myself. So I'll just push that down really good. Oh, I messed up. That shouldn't have gone right there. I'll see if it's good. See if it'll peel up, and it does, which is good because this one actually goes here on the edge. And then this one goes next to it. So didn't seem to affect the stickiness of it, so I think we're okay. Oh, it's got some around the edge that I seem to have missed. Just pull that off with my fingers. Okay, I believe this fit right in there. Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull the rest of that off of there. And this went over here on this edge. Like so. And I know that this went across the bottom. That one I actually got really clean, so I'm not worried about it. And that one could be a little cleaner, but okay. So this one should fit right down here in the corner. And it does. And this guy was a little awkward. I've got glitter on him somehow. I'll go put this key up here. I love these keys. I'm just going to lay it. Just going to lay it on there gently without pressing it in. So I want to make sure that this guy fits up in here, since he is the most awkward. This is not how I had him, but here I go. Rearranging. It looks like I'm going to have plenty of room. So now I'm just kind of filling in. I might go this way with this one. Maybe I'll go over here. Nope. There we go. And that just leaves this little bitty guy. So I'll just set him right here. And that'll leave me a little bit of foam if I want to save it. So I'll just press them all down. Yeah, back in the day, these early 90s stamps, I wasn't very good at cleaning them off. As you can see, some of them still have gold on them, and this one's got black, and this one's got some kind of pink paint on it. All right, so this is where we'll want a craft knife. I'm going to get a baby wipe real quick and just try to wipe some of the sticky stuff off of my hands. Won't get it all, but it'll get a lot of it. All right, so you can use any kind of knife you have, or scissors, like I said. But this is very sticky, so it will make your scissors gunky. So I'm going to probably start here on this edge. And do I want to use a ruler? Probably not a bad idea, in which case maybe I want to go this way. And I like this little Fiskars cutter because I can control it better and guide it easier, because the way it wraps around my finger, I get more pressure on it. It doesn't slip like I've had other ones do. And I'm kind of going at an angle. I don't know that you need to do that. And obviously I won't be able to use a ruler on all of them, but for the straight edges, why not? Now, I maybe didn't cut deep enough, or I did and it's just that stuck to the back. Yep. But it's also peeling up from my foam already, so I would suggest washing them just to make sure there's not any kind of oils or anything that's going to keep them from adhering like they should. And there you go. See how that's nice and clean on the back, and you can see that shine on there. That's what'll help it stick to the block. So here's the block. And it's not coming off of there. It's stuck. So that'll stick nicely to my sheet now, and it'll be there whenever I want it. So that's how easy it is. Now, I probably could cut the top of this a little bit better, because it kind of, I didn't quite line it up right. But you do want to be careful. And I would say you want to use a sharp knife, box knife, whatever you're using. The sharper the better would be my guess. Just because you've got this thick layer to cut through. And I don't know if you can see, this one's angled and these ones aren't, but I do like the way the angled looks better, so I will probably try to do more of them that way. But let me cut out one real quick for you before I end this video. That is not so easy to cut out because it's not straight. So let's just work on this corner here. I don't know if you can see that. It's not the best angle. And I'm just tracing around with the tip of my knife, or my blade, I should say. Now, if you have really intricate stamps, I would say it would not hurt, like down here on the horse's legs. I will probably not, well, I don't know, I might, but you wouldn't have to necessarily go up and remove all of that. It's just going to give you extra adhesion to your block if you don't. But if you don't like the way it looks to leave that in there, then you can definitely cut it out. But I don't know that it's necessary. All right, let's see if I cut this one well enough to get it off of there. And I got it mostly. There's a few spots. So I'm just going to trim it a little bit from back to the back. And right there. So there you go. You can see that one's nice and done. And this block's a little big for this, but it clings nicely. It's not falling off of there. And this is one of the stiff ones. So it just makes it feel heavier. But there you go. That's how you do it. And then you'll take it and you'll stick it to your board. Where did I put those? Here we go. Or however you want to do it. If you want to put them in the, like the cases that you get from Stampin' Up, they'll stick to the inside here. Just depends on how you want to store them. But you have options, and that's good to know. So these are all my corner ones, so I'm just going to take that and put that right there. And it's good to go. Doesn't fall off. So I will finish doing this, but you do not need to stay with me and watch. I guess I can do one more, and then we'll turn the camera off. So here I go. I'm trying to angle my blade in just a little bit, but that's easier to do on the, when you don't have as much to work around, when it's not as when it's not as straight, I guess. I need to overcomplicate things. All right, let's see if that one worked. Yep, again, just a few little pieces, but not bad. There we go. Now I could trim that up a little bit more if I wanted, but for right now I just want to get this project done, so I'm just going to stick it on my board somewhere where it fits. Yeah, that'll work. And there you have it. That's what you do. That's how you remount your rubber stamps so that they will, your rubber stamps that are on wooden blocks, I should say. Now, I am going to hang on to a few of my blocks. I've got many, but most of them were small. And what I'm going to do with them is turn them into pressure tools. So when you're using your MISTI or similar stamp apparatuses, that you can apply even pressure. Because these are a good size. They fit in my hand nicely. But most of the rest of them I'm just going to put in the recycle bin. But if you've got kids, and you've got a lot of them, they'll make great, building blocks and stuff like that for the little ones. So just an idea for you to use, and depending on you, what your needs are. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for watching. Sorry about all the rambling. I'm thinking about renaming myself the Rambling Crafter. And anyway, I hope this helps somebody. I'm excited to get this done, so here we go.